Good morning, everybody. It's another installment of your favorite podcast, especially on your Sunday mornings, even though it'll be Monday mornings for you. Tales from the Head. How you doing, Danny?
I'm doing good, man. I kind of like these Sunday morning recording sessions. They're
Yeah,
fun.
it's a little more zen.
Yeah.
You're not as tired. You're a little more lively with your conversation.
Mm-hmm.
We may look tired, and we are, but
We are. And it's interesting. We were having this conversation earlier. Like, what the fuck happened to us, dude? Remember when we were like in our teens? We used to like wake up like at 12, 1 in the
dude.
afternoon.
Yeah, like when you're growing and you're stinking and you're just sleep all day because you stayed up all
Yeah.
night.
Even like 20s, dude. Like 10, like me waking up before 10, like unheard of. And now.
Well, yeah, that's because you were
Like,
definitely partying.
and now it's like, oh shit, it's 8 o'clock. I was able to sleep in. Oh my god, look at me.
Yeah.
Or like being in bed, like just laying in bed until like 7:30 or 8. You're like,
Well,
oh man, I
dude,
got such good rest.
like I was saying, like every morning, Damon wakes up at like 6:30.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, some mornings I get fucking annoyed. It'll be like 5:15, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I'll just ignore him. I'm like, no, you went to bed in your normal time. Just stay in
Yeah.
bed, dude. Because, dude, if I get him up at 5:15, he's gonna be up,
Yeah.
and then I gotta be up with him, like keeping him busy, and like, no, dude, that's way too fucking early too. He needs to
No,
sleep.
that's
So I'm like,
I
no, dude.
I think 6 o'clock is okay.
So I play dead for like a good 45 minutes.
Until it's like 6 o'clock and you're like, all right.
And I'm like, I
fine.
finally give in. Or sometimes he'll go back to sleep, because that's part of
Mhm.
the trick. It's not if you just like let him be.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, dude, it's like, what the fuck? And then like on the weekends, it's earlier.
Like,
I'm like, dude,
no
what is
kid.
wrong with you people?
You kids got this thing backwards.
Like,
You wake
when I
up
was,
early in the weekdays, sleep in the weekends.
well, dude, and then watch when they're teenagers, like we were just saying, they're gonna want to sleep in and be hella pissed off at us.
Yeah.
That's why our parents did this shit to us because we woke them up so much. They're like, that's why they woke us up. I
Yeah.
bet you that's what it is. Because it
Like,
did
it'll
feel
be
like
11.
punishment sometimes.
Like, I never understood why my parents care so much that I was 11 in the morning and they were like, wake up, it's already 11 o'clock in the morning. Like,
You know
what?
why? Main
What?
reason, jealousy.
Yeah,
They're like,
perchance.
this fucking lazy piece of shit
Yeah.
is just sitting there, not paying rent, sleeping until 11, has no care in the world, and he's probably still not going to do any chores.
No. And like, why do you
Do you
want
know
me to
how
wake
annoying?
up?
Now when you think about it, you're like, you know what? Why didn't I get shoes thrown at me more often?
No, what I understand is why would they want me to wake up like at 11 just so I can go into the living room and watch TV in the living room?
Dude, you know why? Because your dad was taking his second lunch when he was your age at 11
Absolutely.
a.m.
Absolutely.
He was like,
But
I'm already at my second job, and this guy's not even awake yet.
I was having this conversation with my dad a couple of days ago. I'm like, dude, you pride yourself of, oh, look, I'm in bed by 9 every day. Oh, I wake up at 6:30 in the morning. Like he prides himself in that shit. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what for, dude? It's fucking 10, 11, and you're like falling asleep in the freaking in the couch. Like, what's the point of you like bragging? Oh, I wake up at 6. Oh, Harvey. By the time you wake up, I'm like, all right, cool. But you're falling asleep right now.
Oh,
I'm
dude.
wide awake. Like, what the fuck, dude? I'm like, who's the word winner here?
Come on, Grandpa.
Yeah, come on, pops.
Hey, you
Like,
can
just
call him Grandpa now, too.
he is a
Does he
grandpa.
like being called that?
He goes. So my parents don't like being called grandparents or
Yeah.
grandpas, so they go with like mom and pop,
Oh, okay, cool.
like mommy and papi.
That's kind of what I did.
Yeah,
My grandpa was Papa, and my grandma was Mama.
yeah, and I think that's just like a tradition that I think it's becoming more popular, rather than referring to somebody's like, oh, as grandma something.
Kind of
It's just like,
informal. To
yeah,
me. It feels informal to me. Impersonal. Impersonal. That's a better word.
yeah, because the
It's very
thing
like
for
documenty.
yeah, when you say like grandma, it's just like there's no connection.
Well,
It feels there's no warm. Like maybe for me, because I associate my grandmas with like the
right.
title mom. Um, but like yeah, it just isn't the you. I don't feel the love. But when you
No,
call
dude,
somebody
at
mama,
all. Or what's gross when I hear people say mother or father. I don't like it. If you're not
Yeah,
if you're not under the if you're not the Queen's English,
yeah.
then don't talk like that.
If
Because
you're
it's
not living
freaky.
in the fucking
Mummy, mum, and then like
mama,
fucking mother. Dude, no.
no, dude.
Pink Floyd wrote a song called Mother. So did
If you're
Danzig.
not living in the 18th century in England, in the slums of England, do not call your parental figures mother or father.
Yeah, it's just gross, dude. Like, stop.
But you know what, Coop? That's because we're not used to it.
This
There's
is when
maybe
cultural appropriation needs to happen. We need to get
No,
rid of this. It needs to stop.
no, Coop. That's just us because we're used to calling people. Because I'm pretty sure people call their mom, mother, and
No, I
father.
know, but I'm giving.
They hear us and they're like, "Look at those fucking sick fucks."
They're not real. They're fake, and they're not. Those people. Those people don't matter. But
They're fiction. They're fiction, bro. Come on.
come at me, bro. Email me tfthpod@gmail.com. Woo, woo,
Come on.
woo.
I'm sorry. They just people
plug
from
your show.
Upper Twist don't exist, bro.
Come on, do a rant. Tag us on YouTube.
Yeah.
Give it up. Throw it up. No, but
That'd be cool. Hey,
No.
listeners, we want to know. Let us know, what do you guys call your parents and your grandparents? Mama, papa, mother,
or are you a weirdo
father,
that calls them mother or father?
padre,
I'm just gonna
madre?
alienate people. This is great.
Oh,
You know what? There's no such thing as bad press, unless it's rape. That's normally a bad thing.
yeah, Bill Cosby.
Yeah. But some people find the good in him. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not going to say I'm one of those people. I'm not putting that target on my back. But
I mean, just since
Some
we're
people.
talking about him, the only good thing I can say about Bill Cosby, and this is like my whole life. This is like this is like before 5-10 years ago. I only remember him from freaking the movie Jack.
dude, you know what?
And I think that's the only thing I ever liked about him, because I never liked the show. I never found him funny. Him going, fuck you, like freaking the Jello and the pudding. You know, like I never liked that shit. So I never liked this commercial. I found him annoying. The only thing I liked about him was Jack.
Okay, so I agree with Jack, but my grandma loved Bill Cosby, as most probably white women of that era. This isn't a racial thing, by the way.
Yeah,
It sounds
yeah.
like it is, but it's funny. No, and maybe it is. I'm just unaware of it. But I grew up with the show, so I liked it. But once again, you know, I can admit I'm wrong sometimes.
Yeah.
But no, you know, I like the show still. It's still cool. But when you look at him, you know, obviously it's like, but then it's just like I tell everybody else. Like, it's like, you know what, though? People watch Michael Jackson music videos.
Mhm.
I'm not saying I condone any of the actions these people do, but it's like how they are professionally versus how they are like as actors or artists. I do feel like there should be a differentiation, you know, but I'm not saying I support Cosby in any way, shape, or form.
I'm just saying with the Michael Jackson thing is allegedly.
And to be fair, when we did watch the Cosby Show, this was in the 90s and early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like after he did all this shit.
Yeah, yeah.
You know
Well,
what, dude? Old Bill's on the TV. Let's go watch some Cosby Show.
Yeah. Well, I never liked his shows. I never
Yeah.
really saw his shows, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I really had no connection with him on that way. Michael Jackson, though, I don't know. You know, it's all allegedly. Michael was definitely fucked up, but he grew up in the different circumstances that we will never understand.
That's true, but so did serial killers, and we can't just
That's
knock
true.
them down a peg, right?
Oh, freaking side note. And I know we're getting off topic, but
We're never off topic.
That's true, but a lot of our friends who listen to this love serial killer shit.
Yeah.
Have you
Including
been
my
watching
wife.
that Son of Sam Netflix documentary?
I haven't.
Okay.
How is it?
I like it.
Yeah. Now, what kind of
Um,
style is it? Without giving anything away, you can kind of say the style of the show, right?
Bro, come on. If you don't know who the Son of Sam is, that shit happened in the 70s. I think I can spill some beans.
Well, no,
on
I
it.
meant like I'm not asking about details. I mean like format of the
Okay,
show.
okay.
Like how do they do in the documentary style?
So it's a very traditional like documentary with like some reenactment,
Yeah.
here and there.
Okay.
But nothing like, it's kind of like any other documentary where they have like first person perspectives and all these people.
Good acting reenactments or unsolved mysteries level reenactments?
It's somewhere in between.
Okay, I like that because I like campy reenactments.
Yeah. So it's not like full on reenactment, like the full scenes reenactment.
Yeah.
But they have like like the silhouette. Have you ever seen like the Dark Side of the
Dark
Ring?
Side of the Ring where they do the shadows. Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
artsy. I like that.
That's
okay.
how it is.
Ooh, okay.
But okay, so the first one, it kind of gives you the detail of like how New York City was at the time, which was like a complete fucking mess.
Right.
And then they go into the serial killer, and then they caught him, and then they're like, shit is not adding up. So the rest of the series is talking about how once you dig into it, they're thinking like, okay, maybe this guy was the son of Sam, but maybe there was multiple
copycats.
Or no, like they're
pretty much working together.
Yeah, so apparently they're saying it was a cult, a satanic cult with multiple ones. And so that's where I'm like on episode 3, and they're still talking like where the evidence, and you can see with like the leathers and how like it's interesting, dude.
Oh, that's dope.
I think it's an interesting perspective of it.
Okay. Well, hey, I'm into that stuff too. I just need to watch it. I watched last night. I watched the new FBI show.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of interesting. Dick Wolf's doing that.
Okay.
It was while I was watching. I didn't know that, but while I was watching, I'm like, this is very Law and Ordery. And then I also pointed out that every single character on the new FBI show, it's called like FBI Most Wanted or something.
Yeah.
Every single character there's something wrong with the way they look. And this sounds very superficial, and I'm aware of that. But if you watch the show, you'll know what I mean. Like the main guy looks like a poor man's version of the bad guy in Billy Madison.
Shooter McGavin?
No, that's Happy Gilmore.
The guy
school
who,
one. I think Eric is his name. Eric in the movie.
Yeah, I think so. The guy who tries to like,
he's got like the widow's
the
peak.
business. Yeah,
that's a very important part because the main character on the show also has that. Good acting on the show, by the way. I'm just being a total piece of shit. I was watching it and I was just kind of like going in between and being sucked into it and then being distracted by the way how weird the characters look. They all kind of have flaws. It's kind of like, the Island of Misfit Toys, the claymation.
Yeah.
Like it's like the Charlie in the Box basically acting. You're like, all right, there's something a little off here, but they're good actors. But yeah, I'm just being
something bothering me, but I'm still gonna see it.
I mean, look, I can admit it. I'm no Adonis, right? I'm no Mona Lisa, but look, I'm still gonna say something.
Of course, we're entitled to.
So, and speaking of saying something, Danny, something really grinded my gears before we get into our subject. Which, by the way, our subject this week is villains. And the villains we have been for pretty much every decade of our lives. And since me and you are pretty much in our 30s.
Yeah.
Well, you do the math. So, before we get into that, though, now that I did that subtle introduction, I do want to mention and bring back our Lone Star review for the week.
Woo.
It's been a while. We brushed the dust off of this one. I was just actually at a Starbucks, we'll say at some undisclosed location in the east side of San Jose yesterday, which it was, it doesn't matter what day it was. So we ordered like 6 drinks. And by the way, the coffee was great. The people were great.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that irritated me was we ordered like 8 drinks because we were picking up the kids from Steph's mom's. And we just always like to bring something, like thanks for watching the kids.
Yeah.
Here's some food and coffee.
I totally just remember where your in-laws live.
Yeah, like right by Ryan.
Yeah.
And
I just remember right now. Like, I know exactly
down
where
the
it is.
street.
Yeah.
So they give us all the drinks, and they're like 2 cup holders worth of drinks. It's like 6 drinks, and then Steph's like, where are the green stoppers? For the sake of this, I'm going to call them the green stopper thingies.
Yeah. You Starbucks people, you guys know what we're talking about.
Yeah, because by the way, we tried figuring out what they're called, and we couldn't. So you know what?
Yeah.
Screw you guys. Lone Star this week because you didn't have the green stopper things. And when we asked the girl about it, hold on, let me put my Karen hat on.
There it is.
When we asked the girl about it, first of all, you were just like, we don't have them anymore. Yeah, well, thank you. But then like, no, thank you. And fuck you for my crotch getting coffee spilled all over it. I didn't want to shower that day. And because of you, I had to. Thanks a lot. No, but like, it's ridiculous. Like, if you don't want to give them out, like, I don't know, dude, just put a fucking cardboard. Like, they got paper straws that are terrible. Put a fucking paper straw in the hole or something. Do something, man.
Yeah.
There's 3 people behind the counter. 2 are making drinks. The other girl's putting stickers on the cups. Have her do it.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was my Karen moment.
But I mean, dude, come on, man. You're really gonna give?
What if I was riding a bike?
0 stars. If you're riding a bike, why the fuck?
Yeah.
Why were you riding
One-handed
with 6 freaking cups of coffee?
It's spilling everywhere.
You're just at that point. You're just a pendejo by that point, man.
Yeah, that is funny to imagine. Spilling it and fucking getting mad and finally just tossing it on the ground. Fuck it. I'm done. You just pedal home all pissed off.
Pissed with coffee all over.
Imagine seeing that nervous breakdown in public. I would cry laughing. And then I'd be nervous that guy was going to come back and shoot us all.
Oh, that fucker's going to go get a bat.
I'm like, if he's coming back on a bike. Yeah.
Well, Coop, this is why you have to be environmentally friendly and get the reusable ones with the seal.
You're right. But it was an impromptu. It was somewhat impromptu, and it was anniversary weekend. And once again, fuck me for thinking other people are prepared.
Yeah.
Sorry, Starbucks, the conglomerate corporate fucking giant that doesn't have plastics to shove in cups, for God's sakes.
We already killed the ocean, might as well.
The ocean's dead.
No, well, I was gonna say and I get that frustration because there was a time where like they used to be super long.
They're like stirs at that point.
Yeah, I just they're called like splash sticks.
Well, and they stopped doing that because they were getting stuck in like seagulls' pee holes or something.
Yeah, so they made like the super short one, which is like, oh, all right, well, that makes sense. I don't need to fucking cover the whole thing. I just
I mean, that's what I mean though. I'm not asking for like a McDonald's toy. I just want you to like care more.
Well, there was a time where they stopped doing that. So whenever I used to go to like Starbucks or like, here's one for you California natives, Pete's Coffee.
Oh, I like them.
I love Pete's, dude.
Yeah.
Pete's. I'm not gonna lie. If anybody from Pete's is listening to this, I love Pete's. Way better than Starbucks all around. DM us. I'll more than happy to give you my address so you can send me some samples of Pete's because I love Pete's coffee. Anyways, I always used to ask for like a medium or a grande, but then I'll be like, hey, but can you put it like in a venti cup?
Right.
So that way, like those extra 2 or 3 like inches.
Oh, it don't spill.
Yeah, especially like when you're because there's nothing more I hate. So my life is a fucking mess. My life is a mess. My room is a mess. Sure, I have like my backdrop blocking the mess, but I like to keep my car clean and organized. That's like the only thing I like I've been doing. So I fucking hate when I get coffee and I put in my cup holder.
Yeah.
And then like it spills all over and I'm like, son of a bitch, you know.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is not a first world issue. This is real world problems we're solving here.
This is shit that drives me nuts. Because then I want to feel like I don't want to drive like with the fucking coffee cup over here and then like sip it and sell it hot.
We pay taxes to live in this country, so we don't have to have hot coffee spilled on our crotch.
And you know what, Coop?
And where are the roads getting fixed? No, we're not doing that one.
Listen, Coop.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you go to Starbucks and pay for your $3 regular cup of coffee because you're paying for the experience, you're paying for the label, you're treating yourself. That's how much you value yourself. But goddamn it, I enjoy 7-Eleven coffee. 7-Eleven coffee is fucking delicious. And they have the fucking sippy cups with the little blocker thing also. So if 7-Eleven can get it and still charge me $1 for the coffee, you better get your shit together, Starbucks.
I'm pointing up even though in the video it's going to be going like this.
Yeah, okay.
No, that way. Damn it. Doesn't matter. We're not signing here. But I'm just, making a point here. Thank you for not making me seem so Karen-y. Or how do you say Karen in Spanish?
Karen.
That's you now. No, I'm just kidding.
Thank you.
So I'm Karen, you're Karen. I'm just kidding. No, but I don't know, dude. Like, exactly. Like if 7-Eleven, which by the way, also another big one, but yeah, dude, Starbucks ain't no like small company.
No.
Get the fuck out of here.
No.
And I'm not hating on Starbucks, but get your shit together.
Yeah, no, it's just like you're paying, like I said, you're paying for a service. You're paying to treat yourself. You're as a, I used to teach econ, and whenever, you always compare, like I always did this lesson, like why would you rather go to Starbucks compared to 7-Eleven to get coffee? And like majority of students like, oh, Starbucks, just their coffee is way better, blah blah
I'd
blah.
say
I'm
it's
like,
probably ambiance, right?
yeah, you think because since you're paying more, you think it's better, and you're treating yourself, or it's all about treating and finding how much your self worth. You're worth $5 for a fucking frappuccino rather than $2 latte thing from the 7-Eleven coffee thingy.
All
And there's
7-Eleven's got to do, put some paint on the walls, play some jazz music, and that's it.
Oh yeah,
I mean, that's what Starbucks is. It's like
Yeah.
an acoustic album, maybe Jack Johnson.
Yeah,
Maybe a little,
or
maybe
they got some
Lumineers.
freaking. Sometimes they'll be kind of crazy, and they'll put some Mal Davis, and in the background.
Oh yeah, like some legit old, yeah.
Jazz, and you just in the background going, sippity doo, sippity doo. That's my horrible.
Except you're doing Louis Armstrong.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say.
You said Miles Davis.
Miles
but it's
Davis,
okay.
Louis Armstrong, Billie Holiday.
Oh yeah. Was that who you're thinking of?
Yeah, but you just throw some jazz in there. But you know what? 7-Eleven coffee is freaking bomb. McDonald's coffee is actually really, really good. And if you get the app, you can buy any size coffee, iced or hot, for $1. So
Whole dollar.
yeah, I mean $1.08 for us Californians because of taxes.
Yep, and that's how much freedom costs.
$8, $1.05.
$1.05.
But no, just to end this rant, I mean, for me, if it's just my single coffee and don't have the stopper thing,
Yeah, not a big deal, right?
not a big deal.
Right.
But yeah, you have 6.
I
You
can't
over here
hold them all.
You over here freaking like juggling 2 of
Dude.
those color thingies. And then I know the road up to your in-laws, since they're not.
Yeah, I had to get back on
cities,
store. Oh yeah, well yeah. So I don't want to disclose too much of where I was because I don't want to shit on the place. But yeah, exactly.
But since it's not, is county, but it's not within city.
No,
limits.
you're right. It totally is county.
So you pass that one street, the main street, the roads become shitty. There's no more sidewalks. You see fucking horses everywhere for no reason. And so like those roads are like not that well kept. So yeah, I can see. And even though from the Starbucks, I'm assuming you're talking to your in-laws, it's only like a mile.
Yeah, not very far.
It's still with in the bicycle.
It's the bumpiest. Yeah,
it's not fun.
Curvy, a lot of turns.
Yeah.
Not curvy in a good way. No.
Oh God. But I feel you, man.
Yeah, hey, we all got to let out our Karens every once in a while, man. Yeah. You know what though? We didn't make a fuss though in person. All I said was out loud was like, seriously, and then we walked out. That was it. That's what I do. Because what else is there to say?
I was like, fuck.
If I get mad, is she gonna magically make these cups better? No, she's not. Yeah. So let's get the fuck out of here and let me cuss it myself in the parking lot.
Yeah. And I mean, at the end of the day, like, why take out your frustration on the wrong person?
I mean, maybe she's not the wrong person, but you're right. I don't know if she is the right person.
Was this lady doing inventory? Is she in charge of inventory? And
I know I should ask that. Like, who does inventory here? Who the fuck? Where's your clipboard?
Dude, I'm pretty sure if we really want to, we can look up like a Starbucks review, and I'm pretty sure there's like a bunch of people saying,
but see, that's
They ran out of the sleeves, and my hand was so warm. It almost burned me. It almost gave me 3rd-degree burns.
Funny story that wasn't Starbucks, but we went to a black-owned, a woman and black-owned business on First Street.
I know which one. Can I shout it out or?
Yeah,
Nirvana Soul.
Yep, Nirvana Soul. Yeah, and Steph got an affogato, right, which is like ice cream and coffee.
Yeah.
and then they drizzled caramel on it, so it's not hot. But then I got a London Fog, which is pretty good because it's basically, I think it's like Earl Grey with milk, and it's
With
like a
the
milk
cream.
tea.
Yeah.
It's pretty bomb. But it was funny because she didn't give me a sleeve.
Mm-hmm.
So Steph was like, "Yo, can I get a sleeve?" And she's all, "You don't need no sleeve. There's ice cream in that." And then she's all, "Not for me, for him." And then she's all, "Oh, okay, I got you." But it was hella funny because she told her, I just love how confident she was to be like, "No, stupid. Like you got ice cream in there. You don't need that shit." Because like if you go to any other corporate business, like they're gonna be like, "Oh, okay, right away." But like she's like, "Fuck that. You don't need that." I love that. I love her reaction, dude. It was great.
I know who you're talking about. They know me. It's funny because obviously you walk in there with like the mask and everything.
Yeah.
But they already recognize me. And I think the first couple of times I was there, I used to wear the red glasses. So they're like, "I love your glasses.
Yeah.
Where'd you get them?" Oh my god. And so like I'll come in with like, and I try not to wear those red glasses because like, fuck, I don't want to be known as the red glasses guy. And then like by the second or third time, she's like, "So like, do you just have like a million pairs of glasses? Because I see you come in with like different glasses." I'm like, "How you fucking know who I am, lady?"
They're like, "We know who you are. Stop trying to be mysterious."
I'm like, "Listen, Daniel, you're gonna come in.
Yeah.
You're gonna get your freaking your medium size iced latte, and you're gonna tip $1 and pretend like you're a freaking big timer." Like I'm like, "God, yeah, she's right."
Yeah, like Birdman.
Wait,
he
next
wasn't
time you go to that place though.
Was Birdman a big timer? No, he wasn't.
Next time you go though, I suggest you get their waffles.
I got the ham and cheese croissant.
That
was delicious.
Yeah, they do waffles there. I've gotten one where like they put chorizo and jalapenos within the waffle.
Really? I don't think I saw that.
Yeah,
damn.
They do that.
Because I was looking for the food ones. I think they had quiche, maybe. Is that the same place?
Yeah. But yeah, that place is really cool. I used to go to that spot, that specific coffee shop when I used to go to San Jose State because it's like 2 or 3 blocks away from San Jose State. And it used to be called like Cafe Trieste. And then I forgot most recently it was changed to a different name. And then like when they were selling that spot, when the other coffee shop was selling it, they really, really want like I was reading the story, they really wanted that location. They loved like the feel and the look of it. But they were like way out of budget, and then like out of nowhere, like the owners of I think it was called like North Beach or something or something like that, and the owners like reached out to him like, "Hey, you know what? We rather sell it to you because you want to keep this as a coffee shop rather than sell it and have somebody open it up for something else." Like so they hella like undersold it to them, that location, so they can like build this coffee shop and carry on like the tradition.
Well, I was even telling Steph, I was like, dude, like this is not like a cheap spot to be at.
Yeah.
Like, dude, this is like prime real estate.
Dude, hell yeah. Because you guys were staying around the corner.
Yeah, we're at the St. Clair, yeah. We're like around the corner.
Yeah, and then like Original Joe's is like right there.
Oh yeah.
And then like
right
that's the whole sofa district where they have like all the artsies and the Ritz is like right down the street also, like, literally across the street. So it's a nice location. I used to go there all the time when I was in college to like do reading and stuff like that, get myself a cup of coffee and stuff.
Yeah, it's a nice break from the Huss.
And I was in love with one of the baristas actually.
At that place?
Yeah, not Nirvana Soul, but I think when it was still called like Trieste or something.
Got it.
I still remember. I remember her name because we're friends now.
Nice.
It's crazy how life works that way. But yeah, like I was in love with this girl, blah blah, and then it turns out that she was friends with one of my coworkers. So like we ran into each other like maybe a year or two ago at my old coworker's baby shower. I was just catching up, and I'm like, "Oh, you're still so hot."
If you're listening now, you're still so hot, per Danny.
Yeah. But I believe
so was the coffee that spilled on me because I didn't have the green thing. All right, I'll let it go. Okay. Jesus. All right.
No, but I get you. But yeah, that's our coffee.
That was a little rant, a little Lone Star there.
And then you know what? And if anybody of you guys ever come to San Jose, hit me up. I will love to show you guys all of my favorite coffee shops that are local only and not like, I'm not gonna take you fucking Starbucks or like
or just a Pete's.
Or pizza or like Phil's. Oh yeah. The best coffee in San Jose, fucking Starbucks or something. Oh fucking hate.
Phil's is pretty good though.
Phil's is all right.
but it's like you said.
Well, I think Phil's. It's just to the Bay Area, right? Or is it like
I
national?
don't even know.
I
Maybe it's
don't
just
know. We'll look
Cali.
into it. Maybe. All right.
So yeah, maybe it's Philadelphia. I don't know.
Flip. Yeah.
Flipadelphia. All right, so we're gonna go into villains this week. Who are your villains from every decade? I feel like this was an interesting one because every 10 years you kind of are a different person. So I feel like why not? I mean, obviously you wouldn't be the same villain either, right? Hopefully
Mm-hmm.
that changes and evolves in a good way or a bad way. We'll find out soon. I hope you don't mind. I think since I got kind of amped up, I feel like I should just keep going a little bit.
Go for it, dude.
All right, so my first, I'm not gonna go early because I feel like it's just too young. You're gonna go with some stereotypical sociopath child.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, look, I'm gonna be real, even though I kind of picked that anyway. Mine's basically covering the pre-teens to pretty much teens, right?
Okay.
So I'm gonna just say it. I was Joffrey, pretty much from Game of Thrones.
Ooh. Prince Joffrey.
I got some points here. I
Ooh.
feel like some points I wrote down brainstorming. Lil bitch, and I wrote Lil, not little. Lil.
Yeah.
Terrible hairstyle. There's a
Okay.
reason I got bullied. And it definitely was that part of that. Me and my dad butted heads a lot, and I wanted heads to be kind of a joke. Obviously with Joffrey. Which was, I noticed the reason I brought up Joffrey, I feel like because you look back at how you were and you look back, now especially, and you realize you're like, man, I was kind of a little whiny bitch, like
Yeah.
you deal with all these things, or you just watch your kids grow up and then you're like, you hate what you don't like about what they're doing. You're like, dude, for sure, you did that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it seems appropriate because at the time I felt like I was bigger than I was. On a mental level and a physical level. No, not a physical level. Definitely on a mental level though, with like arrogance. And just like, you're young, you're throwing fucking fits about dumb shit, right? You're just kind of spoiled at that age. Like you want things, you don't care why, or you don't care what your parents are going through. You're just like, why don't I have what other kids have? And
Yeah.
you're doing that whole bitchy whining shit, and I felt feared but not respected. No, I'm kidding.
You felt like you need to prove that you were the king.
Yeah, I mean, I did some bad things. Like I remember when I was like 12, I taught this kid to flip people off. Yeah, and then like that kid like flipped his parents off, and I denied it all, like a piece of shit. And I think my parents stopped talking to them because of that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of shitty. I mean, basically because I didn't want to admit I was wrong.
Yeah.
I potentially caused a relationship to stop. So that's pretty villainous.
That's very like you'd rather take that to the grave than admit that you're wrong. Or
Yeah, exactly. It's like you're being a selfish kid that will lie to get out of dealing with the consequences, right?
Mm-hmm.
Also, just to top this part off, I would toss all my room clutter in my closet and tell my parents I cleaned my room. So I was pretty much the worst child in the world.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should have been put up for adoption.
Well, I'm pretty sure they tried, but they were way past the return
Like,
policy.
no.
No, leave him up right
He'll
now.
get
Just
jumped.
leave
He'll get jumped in the home.
him. By us.
Yeah. the fucking foster parents are just whopping me.
Yeah.
Shut up, stupid. Fucking honky.
Good times.
So who's your first villain?
I was thinking about it and I was like, okay, how was I like in my I guess my 10th year, like from the ages of 10 till like, or my my tweens and teens,
Yeah.
and I think I came up with Roger Klutz from
Oh,
Barney.
nice.
Hey, funny,
Yeah.
you know, but not necessarily where I'm like I was a jerk, because if you really think about it, Roger wasn't really like a jerk or anything. He was just like kind of like he was just like an asshole friend.
Yeah. At what
Uh,
first, right?
yeah, because he was definitely like he was still like his friend. He was still like Doug's friend and shit, but he was just like an asshole type of friend. And we all have that asshole friend, like the asshole with the kind heart,
Right.
Um, so I picked him not necessarily because I was an asshole or anything, because I like to believe I never was, but because he just didn't give a fuck about school. He didn't care about
Uh,
school, like always like in detention and like, showing up late and all this stuff. I like that. I think that was where I can relate to, because like, yeah, I was showing up to school late, not turning in homework. Like, you're not gonna pass. I don't give a fuck, I'm like, oh,
yeah.
Mr. Betancourt, you need to step it up. You have enough. No, fuck it, I don't care, you know. So I think in that, like, in that perspective, feel like that was my villain. Like I was a villain, just like not motivated, and I think I was feared, because I remember this episode where Roger's like he's afraid of moving into high school or something, because he doesn't think he's like smart enough for high school or anything.
Yeah.
So like he pretty much like says how like, I mean, Grandis cartoon. So, but I took it as like, oh, he was afraid. He was always acting like he didn't care because he was afraid,
Right.
like failure. And like low key, like that was me for, in high school and early 20s also. Like I was just not care, because then out of fear of like trying and failing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you like moodier because of that, or were you just like insecure?
I think it's mostly insecure.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it wasn't like fuck, I want to pass my class, but at the same time it wasn't like, oh, okay, I'm gonna do my work. Yeah, it's just wanting like everything magically to appear.
But I mean, like, how did you deal with it? Were you like more like Roger, or were you more like closed off?
More closed off
Yeah.
than Roger, because Roger was like
Yeah.
he was the attention seeker or
Right.
whatever, outspoken, where I was mostly like closed off.
Yeah. Because I'm like thinking, I'm like, fuck, Dan. I can't think of you as Roger Klotz.
Yeah, no, that's not. That wasn't me. I was, definitely more. I was
Because
like
as
a
soon as you said, "Hey,
student.
funny," I thought you were gonna tell me a story about you like giving a kid a swirly in elementary school or something.
No, never. I was never like that. I think like no, I don't think I ever like was a bully or straight on bully on somebody or something like that.
I did something shitty when I was 7.
Mm-hmm.
I had a friend in elementary school. Yeah, I don't know why I did this. He had like a soccer jersey, and I fucking put mustard on it, and it
Oh,
stained it. Why would I do that?
well, sometimes we don't think, we don't have that
Yeah, but
rational
like it was
thinking
just
thing.
like, what? Why would I put something on it, right? And it's just like
Yeah,
totally just a dick move to be funny, I guess. And then like it was
yeah,
just like not funny because it was like, and then I felt bad, so I was
yeah,
helping him clean it, but it was like it doesn't matter. Then you just feel guilty. It's not like you really care.
yeah,
And then I'm sure they're like, "Fuck you."
yeah, yeah.
Once again, I told you, I was not a
You,
nice kid.
yeah,
You think about it, like I was bullied a lot, but I think when I had my moments to shine, it doesn't seem like I always did. So maybe
yeah.
that's why karma kind of never rang my bell in a good way in the younger years.
You were. It's just evened out. We're like, all right, Coop. Today's gonna be the day you're gonna get fucked with.
All right.
Tomorrow
Well,
you will fuck with somebody.
tomorrow you're going to be in class with a bunch of Mexican kids that don't really understand you. And then,
Yeah,
yeah, and then like, and you don't understand them because culturally you're not used to that. That was a
yeah,
weird transition, but it was cool. I mean, I always thought the girls were sexy.
yeah. They are.
Typical white man. You just like the women. Um,
You white, you white
and
demon.
well, can't got me there. I guess we're moving on to our 20s now, huh?
Let's do 20s.
You want to start this one off?
Yeah, man. For my 20s, again, not So when I was thinking about this, the first person I thought of was Frank from Donnie Darko,
Okay, the bunny.
the bunny,
Yeah.
and the or the kid, and not because I was like, again, not for like, oh, I identify myself with him, but like the actual kid who was wearing the costume. If you guys haven't seen the movie, he rants over Donnie's love interest, because he was being reckless or careless.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like in my 20s, I was very, very reckless and careless. Like
Yeah.
not really like for sure driving home when I should have not been driving.
Oh, dude, me too.
Um, like for sure, like not being, thinking about responsibilities, not thinking about, just being that reckless. So like I'm so thankful I never like nothing like that ever happened. Or like I got involved in a car accident or anything like that. I'm so lucky for that. But definitely like when I look back, I can just think of like Frank, the bunny from like Donnie Darko, and not necessarily for like being in somebody's dreams and like killing somebody or anything, but like being reckless.
Yeah.
So I think that's a villain. And I don't even think he was that much of a villain. I feel
No, I
like
mean,
Patrick Swayze was more of the villain
oh,
on that
definitely.
one.
He was a pedophile in that movie. God, worst movie.
Yeah.
Well, that and 1114 were movies that did not really glorify Patrick Swayze.
Yeah, but Patrick Swayze was just badass all
Yeah, he
in
was. No,
general.
you couldn't change his image, but it was like, dude, yeah, no, that version of him sucked. Like, he was not. I
Yeah.
didn't like him in that movie, obviously.
Like,
Can't root for
yeah,
a
fucking
creep.
cult
That's
leader or
why he burned
something.
his house
Yeah.
down, because he had kid porn in the basement, right?
Yeah, and so once they like once
Went
they
to the
were
house when
looking
it was
through
burning.
the house, when it was burning, or when they shut it down and they're looking, they saw this like fucking it's kitty porn.
And he was the teacher, too,
So
right?
um he wasn't I think he was a teacher, but he definitely had that like Tony Robbins kind of like
Oh,
self-care.
like a life coach kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah, that thing. And the teacher was like some woman. Remember that? She
Oh, so he was a
goes, I
speaker.
tell you, yeah, he was a speaker, and like the teacher was like all about that program. She's like, I tell you exactly what he told me. He told me put that I forgot what the thing called timeline up my anus. The dad and but yeah,
I gotta
um,
rewatch
uh,
that movie. It's been a long time.
yeah, it's been a while for me, but in yeah, it's a great movie. I like Donnie Darko. It's kind of weird. Took me a while to like figure out what the heck was going on,
Oh
but I like
yeah,
it.
I mean, I think everyone went into that movie kind of with especially with the way the trailer went. You almost thought it was gonna be like a horror movie. And
Yeah,
in some ways, the first time you watched it, it kind of felt like it, just
yeah.
because you were always suspecting something terrible was gonna happen, and it did.
Hmm.
Not good things happened throughout that film.
No,
Probably
and
one
it's
of
just
Jake Gyllenhaal's best roles, though,
definitely. Well, it's funny because prior to that, he did what, Bubble Boy?
or October Sky. Yeah.
Yeah, so he was just
Yeah,
like
Bubble Boy I
complete.
liked though, even though it was like
I
Joe
like
Dirt.
Bubble.
It was like Joe Dirt for him,
Yeah,
but Bubble Boy was stupid as fuck, but it was
it's
funny.
stupid but so freaking good.
Yeah, I
I
just
think
remember
it's
hella
hilarious.
funny parts, dude.
Yeah,
I
me
must have
too.
seen because that was when we had Dish Network, um, when I was in high school, I think.
Hmm.
Um, and they used to play Bubble Boy like all the fucking time when I was in high
Now
school.
they don't even play it, dude.
No, like it was. I remember I would always watch Too Fast, Too Furious, and Bubble Boy like over and over again.
Hmm.
And my dad would be like, "You're watching that movie again?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't care." And that, I realized I was watching it for, you know, my 18-year-old libido was going crazy, and Ava Mendes was there for me. You know,
For which one?
she was in
For
Too
Too
Fast, Too
Fast?
Furious.
Yeah, Eva Mendes, she was hot in the
I'm like,
not hot as like, oh my gosh, she's pretty, because she's still a gorgeous looking woman,
yeah,
a gorgeous woman, but like she was hot as in she was like the it person at that time.
she was, because this was after Training Day. I think right after
Yeah,
Training Day,
she did like Hitch around that time
she was
also. She
really
was
that was
doing,
a good one.
yeah, I love
Once
Hitch, dude. That's a
Hitch
fucking
is a
funny ass
great
movie.
movie, but then it's just of course I fantasize to be Will Smith.
Really?
Well, yeah,
Because
well I wanted to get with Ava Mendes.
Oh, see, and I was identifying myself more with
Kevin
um
Smith, Kevin
yeah.
James. Oh, you wanted to get with the white girl?
No, not necessarily that, but like the
Oh, because he was
nerdy,
coaching. Because
not
you want to be coached.
not necessarily because he wasn't really coach. Because at the end,
Well, he
he really
coached himself.
didn't do
Yeah,
anything.
yeah.
But yeah, it's just like that dude who's like goofy, you know,
I got you.
like
Okay,
under
no.
the radar and gets the girl he always wanted. You know,
Well, on a personality level, obviously, I would assign more with Kevin James as well. But
yeah,
I just wanted him from the strict, gross fantasy reason of getting Ava Mendes. So, yeah, I can just admit that I'm a pig.
There. Fine.
Yeah,
You're gonna
I
ruin it
said
for me,
it.
Danny.
I'm
Fine.
a fucking pig. Okay, you happy?
But yeah, Eva Mendes is freaking. She's still awesome.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Steph used to give me crap for that one, but
Yeah, she's still.
so you know what? Hey,
pretty.
we all got our things. You know.
I'm pretty sure she has like a list of fucking.
Oh
celebrity
please,
crushes.
yeah, she does. I'm not mad about it. I can't compete with that shit.
And why is freaking what's his face in there?
Who?
Like oh, God, I went blank on his name. Most likely, it's gonna be the dude from Angels in the Outfield.
Christopher Lloyd,
Not Christopher Lloyd.
Danny Glover.
No, God, no, the kid.
Oh, Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah, there you go.
You're all the fucking kid, man. You keep naming these old people.
Kid. What are you throwing? Christopher Lloyd? Adrian Brody?
The pianist.
The pianist. Or like, I'm pretty sure. Fuck, I went blank on the other dude's name. The guy from The Notebook.
Oh,
I'm horrible with names.
Fucking James Marsden. No. Ryan Gosling.
And it's funny. Were you thinking Patrick Neil Patrick Harrison or something? Or did you say that name?
No, I was gonna say Patrick Dempsey.
Oh, okay.
I was thinking of all these other chick flick movies when you said that.
No, but I mean, I'm pretty sure like those two is probably like on the list. Steph, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty.
I don't know if Patrick Dempsey's on the list.
Okay, but definitely Ryan Gosling.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think she likes
Ryan Reynolds or something.
No, I don't think she ever liked Ryan Reynolds. I think she does not like Ryan Reynolds.
I like his movies a lot.
Well, I like him. I think she might like. I think she likes his comedy. I don't know if she's got attraction to him.
Okay.
I know for a while she liked. She told me she liked Fat Thor.
Oh,
like
wow.
When he had a gut.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you just saying that because I have a fucking gut?
Yeah. No, that's just so. That's the gateway for her to say she's in love with.
Hey, but you know what?
Thor.
Without sounding creepy, which is totally gonna sound creepy. I mean, maybe it's a coochie bump, dude. I don't know. I'm just, I don't know. I've heard things. I've heard people say it. Chubby guys get down. I mean, what can we do? What are we gonna do?
Sorry, we were blessed with so much sexiness.
Let me tell you something. I got legs of steel because it's got to hold up this frame. All right.
Yeah, exactly. my legs are strong, and I'm pretty sure it's all muscle. I cannot say anything for the second time.
Oh, dude, but it don't matter. You're like,
what's up?
You're all the gut, but check out these calves, baby.
Oh, but look at this calves, baby.
Look at that. You see that definition?
I play soccer also, so
you're not going to see that anywhere else on my body.
You know that thigh we rip our jeans between our thighs super fast, baby.
Yeah, baby. I got to put baby powder on my legs, baby. I'm chafing.
Oh,
speaking of baby, I'm gonna go into my 20s villain, and I'm gonna go with Johnny Ringo from Tombstone.
Oh,
I'm coming in a little hot, dude, but I'm gonna explain why. Because at first you're like, all right, calm down.
All right, Johnny Ringo. Okay.
All right. Yeah. Well, main point is he's a young punk, dude.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a short fuse. His shit don't stink. I think he thinks he's more feared than his. I think he's more, in his own mind, he's more fearful than he is to everyone else, even though he had a reputation.
His ego. His ego's way bigger than his personality.
I mean, dude, it was that time of like the years for me, not the time of the month. It was the decade of angst, like machismo. I was trying to figure myself out as a man.
Yeah.
Even though like I was on my own at 18, I still consider like my 20s a different decade because it's mentally it's a different decade. Like you're old enough to drink. You're gonna start paying health insurance eventually.
Yeah.
You're going through college, or you're starting your career, or you're just starting to work full time, really hardcore. Like
Mm-hmm.
you're finally an adult in your eyes. You're getting all your shit done, right, adult wise. But you're also like arrogant as fuck, dude. Like you're in your naive little bubble of yourself. And
Yeah.
I mean, even when we were walking down in San Jose, me and Steph this weekend, we were thinking, and I was like, man, we're like, when we were walking around here and hanging out, dude, we had no cares in the world. And like, as 30-year-olds, we're walking around with our eyes open, like, what's going on you know what I mean? You just always have your eyes
Yeah.
open because you want to know what the fuck's happening. And I don't think anything's changed so much. I mean, I just think in our 20s, we just didn't care.
Yeah.
I don't think it was safer. I just think that we're just more naive and about ourselves, and we're not tripping that we're downtown
Mhm.
late at night. We just want to get drunk and hang out with our friends.
Yeah.
It's such a weird time as an adult because I feel like you're overconfident in a lot of ways, and then you're probably insecure about a lot of silly things too.
I was having this conversation with my brother. He's like, man, nowadays, like, people are crazy. Like, it wasn't like this back in the old days. And I'm like, no, I think it's always
I think
been
it
like that.
has
We
always
just didn't
been
notice because you didn't have children,
right.
and like we weren't watching the fucking news. And
Mhm.
like, if we did watch the news, it wasn't like we didn't care about that kind of shit,
Right.
like we didn't care about shootings or like kidnapping attempts. I'm like, all that I mean, look at the Lovely Bones, like that's just from the 70s,
Oh
like
yeah, that's a fucked
80s.
up movie, man. That movie
Oh,
makes me
super fucked
sad.
up movie. I'm sorry I brought that up.
It's okay. Stanley
But it's
Tucci's a great actor, but a terrible piece of
oh, what a fucking
person.
piece of
Well, I'm
shit, dude.
stuttering.
Yeah, and just the way he went out. I mean, justice was served, but the way he went out is just like, fuck you, dude.
Yeah,
Like Marky Mark just wanted his baby's body back.
that was just such a hard movie.
It is.
It was
And
such a
it
good movie, but it was like it's one of those movies too where I don't want to go back and watch it. I do, but I
no,
don't. It's like,
and
ugh.
I think it's one of those movies just because, like, all right, um now as we're older and like parents and stuff, like we don't want that shit to happen to any,
Well, dude,
especially
even
us, but anybody as a
yeah, I
parent.
mean, even as an uncle,
Yeah.
it's.
No.
I mean, when I first became an uncle, it was like that too. I got that was my first taste of that.
Yeah.
Where I was just like, man, I care. Like, yeah, I don't like, it bothers me. Or you just, it reminds you, it's like a weird reminder. Sometimes you get these bookmarks in life. They're like, hey, this is how you should be.
Yeah.
You should look after kids that aren't necessarily yours.
Yeah.
Because, like, if I'm in public and I see, like, obviously, like, I'll step in, like, there's recently a man, I think it was part of that whole situation with that Stockton cop.
Mm-hmm.
There was also a passerby, I believe, in the neighborhood, and I don't know all the details. I wish I did. It probably would have been better, but he helped save a little girl's life. She could have been shot, and and it wasn't even his kid.
No,
But
it's
for a
just
while he was in the neighborhood, and for he protected his identity for obvious reasons, but he finally came out. But they he made a statement where he was just like, I just I have kids, and I did what I did what I had to do. And I definitely relate to that, not because I directly did it, but I have the exact same feeling. I've already told Steph, I said, if my kids, it might be an extreme reaction, but if my kid's in danger in any way, I'm going to treat it like it's his life.
yeah.
So if anyone's even near my kid, I'm not just going to push the guy and leave. I'm going to put him down and keep him down.
Yeah.
It's going to be rough for that guy.
Yeah.
So because I feel like you have to treat it with that kind of seriousness and respect, because first thing you learn in self-defense class is don't ever underestimate your opponent.
Yeah.
You want to avoid an altercation is the main thing, but the next step too is don't ever underestimate who you're going against. You may think you have an advantage, but you should never assume you ever have an advantage. So that's what I mean. Like in a situation, I don't want to just assume or see the better in people. You know, if my kid's in danger, I'm gonna fight before fight. I mean, fight before flight.
You're gonna fight before flight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe that's not always the right way. You know, sometimes I think the best way to do it is to just get the fuck up out of there. You know,
It is, but at the same time, you know, you're also, if your child's, you know, if somebody causing some sort of harm or endangering your child, you also want to like prevent it from happening to anybody else.
exactly.
Also. So I think that's another thing also, like
Kind of like what you said, I think last week about that lady that recorded the situation with the man fighting the guy because he was trying to take his kid.
mm-hmm.
You know, it's like exactly like, remember I kind of was like, oh, Karen, but no, you're right. Like she helped stop this fucker that could have probably literally an hour later went and did it to someone else and successfully gotten a kid, you know, like
yeah, exactly.
100%. I agree.
Yeah. And so, and it's kind of preventing it. And, you know, even if it's like speaking up or like getting somebody on camera and spreading like, yeah, you didn't put yourself in danger or anything, but like you prevented it. And you know,
and as a record
also like,
right.
Yeah. So yeah. Wow. What piece of shit that guy is.
Yeah. What a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
So who was your
Johnny Ringo?
Yeah. Johnny Ringo. Cocky, you know, little fucker.
Yeah.
Not my favorite character in Tombstone, and you know what though? Not my favorite person in my life in my 20s. So that's kind of why I chose him.
Yeah,
he wasn't even the coolest villain in the movie, you know. But who
that's
was
funny
the coolest
because
villain?
when we were thinking about like villains, we were, you know, like obviously the first, like we think about villains and we're like, oh, the Joker, oh, you know, Mr. Freeze or like
Right,
Lex Luthor,
like superheroes.
Yeah, superheroes.
But those are cool too.
Loki, yeah, they're cool too. But then like I started thinking about like my personality and how I was and what villains or like anti-heroes I can think of that can like relate to like characteristics that stand out to me the most. And I think that's why like, and if you think about it, like we pick people who we kind of don't like or cannot really relate to because we're not those people anymore. We're not in our teens. We're not the people we were in our teens or in 20s. You know, we hated, I hated myself in that time.
Exactly. And that's a perfect transition because now we can talk about the villain we are now.
The villain now, dude. So for this one, I'm like, I don't like, for this one, I was thinking a while. I'm like, all right, what the fuck is my villain or who will be my villain? But I figured since I'm still going through my 30s, I will probably like take me like another 10 years to like really reflect like who my villain is now.
True.
But if I can pick one right now, my villain has to be anxiety.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's like my villain, like just like because of my anxiety, it leads to my depression, which leads me to like a lot of like destructive and self-harm. Not like I'm cutting myself or anything, but like self-harm as in like doubting myself and like physically and mentally putting myself through like pain and stuff for, you know, for having self-doubt. So I think anxiety will be my villain. And I'm not even sure if that's a real villain, but you know what? Fuck it. Who's gonna tell us we're wrong? So I'm gonna go with anxiety as my villain right now.
You know what, dude? I'm gonna change mine on the fly. Because I like that. I think I kind of felt like you said, okay, so it's funny I picked a third one, but like you just said, it's like I haven't lived my full 10 years of this decade, so there's a lot more shit I'm going to fuck up on. There's a lot of shit I won't fuck up on. Who knows which way that's going to sway my villain, you know? So
yeah,
totally agree. It was a weak one for me, so I'm going to go with my strong one, which I think my villain so far in my 30s, hands down, is my expectations of others. It's such a fallback for me. I'm battling with it every day because I in my head I have unfair expectations of what I want without communicating it and just having it affect who I am and how I treat people, and that's not okay. You know, like it's very childish. It's very childish to have a mindset, and when you don't meet it, to be so upset and distraught. That's literally what kids do when they don't get their way. You
Yeah.
know, so it's like I'm basically like a 30-year-old woman. 30. That took a turn. A
Yeah.
30-year-old child sometimes, you know, like you're like, man, what the fuck? And you're like, the problem with it too is just like my anger, I'll know it's wrong, but it's just so hard for me in the moment to want to like tell that voice to stop. I'm working on it because I even said, I noticed it like this weekend. I was annoyed with the hotel
Okay.
because I made a special request. I did that. Okay, so it's not really a knock on the hotel, but kind of is. So it could kind of go with Lone Star, but because everything was so good, I'm not going to say it's Lone Star. I did my hotel for my anniversary through Booking.com because not because I'm a little trendy bitch and I wanted to plug. It's because the room I originally looked up on their website wasn't available. So I then Googled it, luckily, and I was a little resourceful. I found the room I really wanted. So we did get what I needed. But I did request like a bottle of champagne since it was our anniversary. And I even said, you know, like if there's a fee, no problem. Please charge it to my room. I already have the card on file, right?
Yeah.
So Booking.com sent me an email weeks ago and they said, okay, no problem. We can do your request, no charge. So I was like, oh, that's super awesome. So we get to the hotel, we check in. I kind of mentioned to her, I'm like, oh, look, they put the request through, and I didn't really say anything. And she's not really a champagne person, but it was just, you know, it'd be cool. So, like, you know, we get in there and they don't have it. And I kind of mentioned to her, I'm like, well, they didn't have it. Maybe they wanted me to check in. So I paid for the room before they just put a bottle in here. That kind of makes sense. Okay. So we go to dinner, you know, whatever. And then I was like, you know, before we go back up, I'm just going to go to the desk and be like, yo, you know, we didn't get, I noticed there was a request that you guys said was going to get confirmed and everything was okay. And they're like, yeah, we don't see any record of it. And like, I didn't even make a stink. I was just kind of like, okay, like, but can I just get a bottle now? Like, you can charge it to my room. Like,
Yeah.
how would I do this now? And then all she said was, I was so irritated with her because now it is the hotel's fault because now I'm saying like, okay, they fucked up, but what can you do? Like, I just want to do this. What can we do? And she literally was just like, well, you can go back to the restaurant and buy a bottle. And I was just like, but I was just at the restaurant. Like, we were just literally at the restaurant. I bought drinks. Like, I just want to get something to my room because we're done with the restaurant now. Like, why would I go now back to the restaurant? That doesn't make any sense. Like not to sound like an asshole, but hotel. Hospitality. This is literally the industry it's called. Like, room service. Like, dude, I know it's COVID, but put the fucking bottle and knock on the door and leave. Like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, really? So I'm like, whatever, dude. And it's not like the room was hella cheap. So it's just like, really? Okay, fine. And then it was annoying too because she even said to me, which made it worse. She's like, well, usually we totally do it free of charge. It's not an issue, but it's past 5:00 and we don't do that service. And I'm like, but if I can go into the restaurant myself and get it, why can't someone who works here do the same thing?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, what? And then like, I could tip you. Like, it's a whole thing. Like, really? So then I was annoyed. And then I noticed like there's a point to this. And then I went in the elevator and I was just still ranting about it. And I was just like irritated. But then I stopped because I realized I could prolong this annoyance and ruin our night and be annoying, or I could just let it go and we could make the best of it. And that's what we did, and it was a great night. But once again, it was like I had an expectation, whether it was fair or not fair. Like, I can't let things ruin my mood just because something didn't happen the way I wanted it to. Either correct it and find a way to move on, or you know, or stop doing it completely. Because it's just like no one benefits from being upset about something. Just find a solution and move forward. You know. So that's my villain for my 30s so far, is just putting unfair expectations on people, you know?
Yeah. No, definitely, dude. And that's like one of the things like we always like, I think because we like to hold ourselves in like in a high standard,
Right.
that we always expect everybody else to have like that type of standard, you know?
100%.
So
I totally agree with that, dude. And Steph's told me that too. She's like, you're really hard on yourself. And I'm like, well, this isn't like a humble pat myself on the back comment, but it's like, I want to be better if I expect more from others, you know? Like, I I want to match that. Like, it's like treat others how you want to be treated. It's one of the oldest adages in the book, man. And it's just something I want to live by and try to live by. You know, it's,
Mm-hmm.
if I want people to treat me this way, then I need to treat them that way, you know?
Yeah.
So, and that's part of reflection that I don't feel like we did a whole lot of that in our 20s.
No, it definitely, I think that's like a skill that we are just learning now. You
Yeah.
know, like self-reflection, self-analyzing ourselves, and how can we, like, you know, just be better, dude. So
I mean, it's opened you up, you know, you also being a teacher and having taught in your 20s.
mm-hmm.
How is teaching in your 20s versus teaching in your 30s? Is it easier mentally?
No, dude, I don't think it gets any easier. It's definitely like, um you know, the stress is still there, but you have the experience, you have the, you know, I wouldn't say like you know how to handle certain situations, because, you know, situations we're gonna, you know, there's gonna be first times for everything. Like, dude,
Right.
this year, like, you know, teaching everything online and doing everything digitally, like with Zoom calls and stuff like that, like that was a freaking curveball that was thrown out there at
Yeah.
me. But I think when it comes to like teaching now, it's like, you know, I feel like, I don't know, it definitely, the age gap is definitely getting there now with like the pop references that they're making. And
Yeah.
like when I talk about like, oh, you know, in 2007, and they're like, I'm like, back of my head, I'm like, oh yeah, right, you guys are just barely being born in 2007, you know, or like, oh, you guys were just being born in 2006. Like, oh,
Dude,
that's
I
right.
was windmill kicking people in the neck when you were like
Yeah,
3 years old.
bro. Yeah, that's like, dude, that's insane. Like, that is insane. Like, like we were going to hardcore shows and starting fights and at hardcore shows when your mom was probably pregnant with you.
I'm probably the reason she was pregnant. No, I'm just
Like, no, it's just insane, dude. Like, it's insane. Like
Wait,
when
where
I
was your
think
mom?
about,
Yeah.
like, I no, and it's crazy because they're like, their parents are like our age, you know.
No,
So
well,
it's
yeah, dude. And that's, you know, and then you forget because you're not that old in your mind.
yeah, and I think that's what sucks the most. Like, I sit in, I'm like, oh wow, like the generation gap is like so big now. Like, it's not like,
Oh,
well,
yeah.
it's not super big, but like, yeah,
No, we're OGs, dude.
like, dude, my incoming freshmen next year, they're what, 13, so they're gonna be 14. So what, they were born what, like close
2014.
to
No,
2010
geez,
already,
my 2008, right?
2008. Yeah, like,
Jesus.
dude, it's crazy,
Dude,
dude.
in
Like,
2008, I was 20.
2008, I
I was drinking
was a
a
lot of
lot.
drinking, a lot of drinking. Um, I think I was still working either at Comcast or, no, I was working at Comcast. Yeah, I was working at Comcast and thinking about going back to school. So like, yeah, I was really going through a nervous breakdown when they were barely born. You know, that's just, let's put it this way.
You didn't even have curly hairs, and yeah. Anyway,
You guys
getting
weren't
all
even a
weird.
thought, and I'm already thinking about how much I hated my life.
Like you guys weren't even a thought, and I was a mega thought because I was a hoe. Get it?
Yeah. Oh
That
God, no,
hoe over there.
it's crazy. It's just insane. That's the biggest difference. Like, ooh, sorry.
It's
I
okay,
think
man.
the age gap, I think it's like the hardest part. And like just making things more relevant, because I make things relevant, like, you know, from like 2006 into, you know, and they're like, you know, they can't really relate to that.
But you know what though? The hip teachers when I was in high school, we were analyzing like Bob Marley, and Bob Marley's 1970s.
Yeah.
So you know what, dude? That's pretty current.
Yeah. Dude, I have no idea about like music nowadays. Like sometimes I'll play music in the background while my students are doing like in the work.
Yeah.
And this gives me hope. Like this one time I was playing Pink Floyd,
Nice.
And like one of my students, ones that like hardly talk or anything, like never talk or anything, sends me a message like, "Are you listening? Is this Pink Floyd, Mr. Betancourt?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Oh my god, I love this band. Like, can you
Yeah.
put this song up next?" I'm like, "Absolutely." And it brought me a little tear. I'm like, "Yes, there's hope." Or like, I'll be like, "Hey, does anybody have any requests? If not, I'm just gonna play you like kit trap music or like jazz in the background." And one of
Yeah.
my students were like, "Can you play?" Like, she requested a Led Zeppelin song. I'm like, "All right, I'm not a fan of Led Zeppelin, but you know what? There's hope. There's hope here. This is something I can work with." You
No,
know?
wait. Okay, so interesting thing, because I could go either way with Zeppelin. I like them, but I don't. I love hearing. One of my other friends isn't a big Zeppelin fan, so I love hearing people's reasons why they don't like Zeppelin. And I'm not going to pry against
Yeah.
you. I want to know why you're not the biggest
I
Zeppelin
don't
fan.
know. I just never got into it. Like,
Yeah.
I
Is it the singing?
no, it's not even the singing. The singing is good.
Yeah.
The musicianship and everything is like good. Like, it's a good band, but it's not my cup of tea. I
All
guess.
right. I
I
respect that though.
and I think even if I was like in the 70s and stuff, I don't think I would like dig it.
Yeah.
You know, I think I'll still be like more into CCR and like Boston and like Black Sabbath and shit like
I
that.
mean, Danny. I mean, like, look, I I love Zeppelin and I like their songs, but I also do like when people aren't like super Zeppelin fanboy because I do feel like they kind of are the Beatles of the harder rock.
Yeah, and
No
that's
knock on the Beatles, but like everyone knows the Beatles are good.
yeah. And like same thing like with like the Who and like all these bands from like that era. I'm like, all right, cool, but like they're good, but I'm not like it's not my cup of tea
What
now.
about Aerosmith?
I mean, I was singing freaking "We're Living on the Edge"
I know, and
earlier.
that's arguably people say shitty Aerosmith. I like that era, but I
Yeah,
also 70s Aerosmith was rocking.
with like freaking "Dream On" and
Dude,
like
back in the saddle.
yeah. Again, one of those bands like I know they're good, but it's not like it's just not my cup of tea. Like
What about Queen?
uh, Queen, they're good. I would love to go and see Queen now. I appreciate their music, but like, am I gonna fucking fight you and be like, Queen's the greatest band of all time? No, I'm not gonna fight you with that.
You know who I would fight people about, and it's totally like a Ricky Bobby thing. I
Which
do
one?
love me some Leonard Skinner.
I'm okay with Leonard. Again, I appreciate this is me now, like older. I can appreciate it and I
Yeah,
dig it, but like I think like if you would ask me this question like 10 years ago when I was like in my 20s, I'm like, "Oh, fuck that band. It's fucking shitty as band, like
yeah,
because we're just assholes. But now like even with like Machine Gun Kelly, not to shit on Machine Gun Kelly. I
right,
think the album he did last year, super great. It's just like the sound of
yeah.
it, like overly produced, in my opinion, overly produced with like bells and whistles everywhere.
Hmm.
It's good. It's good songs, good music, but again, not my cup of tea. Like it's good, but I'm not like if it comes up, I'm gonna listen to it. But it's not like I'm gonna go on my way to fucking play Machine Gun Kelly. Like
I'm
I won't.
totally stereotyping and totally being shitty about Machine Gun Kelly, but I feel like part of me, and I could be totally wrong, but
Mhm.
part of me feels like he kind of just took the spot of Yellow Wolf.
Yeah, he did. It's
Like I
like
feel like every year there's like a race, there's like a
mhm.
race and a role that's available, and they're like,
Yeah.
okay, in the early 2000s, it's like Chris Tucker. Some comedian said this. I forgot who it was.
Mhm.
Chris Tucker's in jail and Dave Chappelle's in Africa. So Kevin Hart now has a career. And it's totally true because right place at the right time and you fill a void for Hollywood's role. I'm not
Yeah.
saying Kevin Hart didn't work his ass off and he's not funny, but
Mhm.
you know, there's like always circumstances around like funny things like that you're like, oh wow, that is kind of coincidental, or is it coincidental?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Like
You know.
just up and coming, and then like, all right, well, here's this new guy who can do the same
Or here's an
role
edgy
and
white
way
guy that's
cheaper.
kind of, yeah, and it's just kind of like, and look, dude, and I'm not knocking, like you said, it's not a knock. I just feel like that's somehow we're finding these societal repetitions and roles, over the years we're live and we're like, this
Because
keeps working and happening.
it's funny you brought up Yellow Wolf because he did a track with Blink on their EP called Dog Eating Dog, and I think like that EP was fucking really great, and the whole EP is great up until the very last song, where they have a Yellow Wolf comes out and starts rapping over it, and it's just I didn't dig it.
Yeah.
I didn't dig it. And same thing, like I hear Machine Gun Kelly, and like don't get me wrong, like his songs are really really good. They're Travis Barker's in it, produced by like the same people who's been producing like Blink albums and shit. So
Yeah.
really good production, but it's just like so much like bell and whistles, and I'm just like I miss the good old days of rock, bro. Of like punk. It's just like
Well, yeah, like you just said, punk, because I was just gonna say that too. Like, it's raw, it's real.
yeah.
You know,
And
it's not like exactly.
and this is something I always tell like my buddies. It's like I miss that imperfection in the recordings.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think one thing that sucks about the digital world now and the way recording is, I mean, once it's allowing us to do like this type of projects and allows me to like record my ideas and shit.
Right.
But unfortunately now I feel like if you want that perfect tone, like it's just a fucking click away. If you
Yeah.
want that, if you want a certain sound, it's just a click away. Everything is like is too perfect. So, where I think I miss the imperfections.
Yeah, I think I miss smelling the hard work, like you just said, kind of.
Yeah.
It's like back then they had to work and rehearse and really master it because it was like a
Yeah.
treat and a luxury to record. It wasn't just like hitting a button in your studio in your closet.
Yeah.
It was like you had to like reserve time, get your friends together, get all the gear together, go to a place, load in,
Mhm.
set up, like be charged per hour. So like,
Mhm.
like there's a whole anxiety to that, and excitement. But like, yeah, you don't you eliminate all that, which you could say is negative noise to some point. But like you
Mhm.
just said as well, you're not really earning your stripes either. You're kind of just jumping shortcuts.
Mhm.
I
I
feel,
mean, and the music quality and the audio quality is like amazing. I'm not gonna like knock on that. It's super amazing, super good production and stuff. But sometimes I just like something that's been really, really like it kind of pisses me off nowadays is like when bands are playing to like like they'll have their MPs, they're all playing like to a click track or something,
yeah.
which is fine. But like I've noticed like a lot of the big bands, like again, Blink-182, I've seen what some of their most recent like performances, and like and they have like a backtrack going with like like pianos or like
Yeah, they won't just get fucking live players.
yeah, and I'm just like that's just what makes them like changed, like the Ozzy Osbourne thing where like they mix Ozzy's live voice and like recorded voice and they kind of like blended.
Well, that's just because now it's because he's 70. Let's be fair.
Yeah.
They weren't doing that back in the 80s.
Yeah, no, and I think that's what I miss. Like I rather like if they're gonna sound shitty live, like just give me the shitty live version
No, I'm
rather
with it.
than like
Um,
yeah.
Fuck, I had a point, which is rare. Um, Damn it, it was a good one. And that's the thing that's annoying is the pot's fading, so I should be smarter. No, like you were saying about Ozzy
Blending and stuff like that.
Oh well. We use that segue as a brain fart to change it, I guess.
At the end of the day, I'm not knocking this new artist. There's still new artists that I love, and I'm like, oh shit, this is fucking amazing. But at the same time, I'm like, like some of it,
Yeah.
if it's too polished, I just don't like it. But then again, I might listen to these tracks live, like in the concert, and I'll be like, oh fuck, this sounds hell amazing.
Oh, I remember.
Go for it.
I think because of what you're talking about, I have something about Led Zeppelin that may make you respect them a little more. Not that it's going to change your view.
Mhm.
So Zeppelin has a song called "Fool in the Rain," which they don't have a pianist. Their bass player, John Paul Jones, plays piano on the
Mhm.
records. They've never played that song live ever because they never got anyone besides the band to play shows.
Yeah.
Which I also
Oh, yeah.
respect because that means they also didn't get fucking tracks played while they were playing live. So
Mhm.
that's pretty tight.
Yeah.
Like they kept it true. They're like, all right, we're not going to do the song justice, and we're not going to do it the way we want to do it, so we're not going to do it at all, which could be viewed as
Yeah.
kind of shitty. But then there is some artistic integrity there, though,
Yeah.
right? It's like
Like,
we want to give you the best we can.
yeah, like I think it's awesome, like seeing like the Edge on YouTube playing, like when he plays New Year's Day or something, where
Right.
he does like the piano version. He's playing the piano at the beginning, and then
Yeah.
he goes to like the fucking to his guitar riffs. I'm like, that's freaking dope.
Oh no,
Like
yeah,
sure
I
they can.
agree. Yeah.
I'm like, sure you can. I'm pretty sure even in the '80s to go hire somebody just to play the piano part.
Well, no, but see, that was the point, though. They wanted the band to be up there,
Yeah,
and that was the band. So I respect it, and I agree with you. I would have just gotten a session player. I'm totally like
yeah,
that. I think it's cooler but I like live music. I'm not one of those like purists, you
yeah,
know. But at the same time, at least they're not. At least they don't have a fucking track. But that was, let's be real. They broke up in 1980 because John Bonham died. So that was before fucking Milli Vanilli. So I mean, who knows?
yeah,
Maybe they would have faked it, but
yeah.
they didn't have the technology.
Yeah, the technology wasn't there yet. No, and like one off, like if they decided to do it one off and they have like one session player just do it, like fucking Elton John go in there and fucking play the piano
Right.
on that.
That'd be cool.
That'd be cool. Like just a one off
Yeah.
thing.
And
Or
Zeppelin wasn't a jam band though, like they didn't like collaborate. Like, I agree with you. I think it's cool when bands do that. But Floyd doesn't do that either. But Floyd
no.
everyone has their hat, like, and plays a part, So I that's where I give Pink Floyd the upper hand. I'm also a bigger Pink Floyd fan than a Zeppelin fan.
Same. Okay. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I just identify with the music more. I appreciate it on a creative level more. David Gilmour's guitar work to me is just like one of the most perfect sounds, let alone melodies. Like his solos are just so good.
Oh, absolutely.
But the piano work and the synth work in that band is really dope. I think Nick Mason. Like
I'm horrible with names.
But
I realize I'm horrible with names lately.
But like I said, they have what they play live and what they do on record. They have the people to do it. So that's kind of a more complete. Like, do you want to pay all that money and not get one of the hits? That's kind of whack. So maybe that is yet another knock on Zeppelin. At first, I thought it was a positive. It is kind of shitty.
Like, you rather save yourself, because how much are you going to pay that session player? I mean, at the end of the day, you're the talent. You're going to bring in.
Well, that's the thing. I think it's money, like you just said.
Yeah.
Because a session work is not cheap.
No.
So I also hear there's controversy a lot of the time with bands doing projects in the studio, and when they're in bands together, I've heard there's drama when, like, say, let's just use an example. It's Aerosmith. Aerosmith's like, let's go to the studio and record a record. Well, like we're recording these songs. Well, when you're a band, it's not like it's like you're getting paid like session work. I think you're technically making less because you're like, okay, I have part ownership in this. It's a collaborative effort, and we're going to put this out as a unit. So I've heard there's been instances where, like, let's just say as an example, they'd all go in the studio together, but Steven Tyler would take those tracks and put it on a solo record. That's shady. Yeah, because then you should be paying Joe Perry and Brad Whitford and all these dudes as session players separately, and not just like as the band, and then you just take all the credit and the money. Like, that's super whack. But that's what Steely Dan used to do. They used to hire all session players because Steely Dan is only two dudes. But when they play live and on records, they pick the best of the best.
Yeah.
To play on the records. And I love that about Steely Dan. I'm like, that's tight.
Yeah, or like Ringo Starr All Stars or whatever.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I actually took Steph, and although we're not like the biggest Ringo fans, it was tight because, like you just said, of the people that are there. I think, what is the dude's name from Toto?
Steve
Lukather.
Exactly the guy who's. Yeah, that guy.
The main guitar guy. He's a fucking shredding beast.
Well, somebody originally, I think he did all the guitar work for Beat It up until the solo. The solo was all.
Oh, Eddie Van Halen.
Yeah. That's what I heard. So he used to write a lot of like Michael Jackson stuff, especially with like
He
guitar work and shit.
he also did Dirty Laundry. There's 2 solos in that song. One is by Joe Walsh and the other is by Steve Lukather of Toto as well. He, like you said, he kind of was a session guy for a lot of people. And if you listen to like Rosanna, like it's not like, I'm not a huge Toto guy. Africa got played out. Thanks fucking Weezer. But like
Weezer.
Rosanna, if you listen to the guitar solo in that song, dude, it's such a good solo, dude. It's such a tight.
Go back and listen to Hold the Line.
Oh, Hold the Line. I've always liked the
time.
tone on the guitar.
Oh, dude,
It's hella
such an
punchy.
amazing- Yeah.
And
And then the guitar solo also now is such a badass song.
dude, I got goosebumps a little bit.
Dude, I saw Toto maybe 3 years ago.
That's
in
sick.
Oakland at the Fox Theater. Like I was originally gonna go with my sister, and she bailed on me like last minute. I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna go by myself. So
Hell
I pay like $60, got on the floor, and fucking Toto knew exactly what they were doing. Like,
oh yeah, dude.
no openers, just damn. Start at 8:00. Show was over by 10 or something like that. Like
There were
they
so
knew the
many.
crowd.
How many
They knew-
40-somethings and 50-something-year-old white women were there?
All of them.
Yeah,
All of them. I might have been the youngest one, and I was like in my I was like in my 30s.
You probably thought you were at a Tupperware convention.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, they came out and just like seeing them perform, and they play that Hold the Line song. It was like the second or third song, and I'm like, well, I guess I can leave now.
Yeah. No, that's what's tight. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Because I'm also like you. Like I am like super poser hits with Toto.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be like, I Hold the Line is probably the most B-side, close to a B-side I would
yeah.
get. Because like Africa and Rosanna are like top 2 songs for them
Top
probably.
hits. Yeah.
And those are probably encores.
Yeah.
Rosanna was the encore, Africa, one of the two, I'm sure.
Roxana came in like
Late.
halfway through the Meet You All the Way.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
that's a good one.
Africa, because they didn't do like an encore thing. They're like, hey, you know what time it is, right? You know what time it is? It's time to go to Africa. You know
God, put on your safari hat.
Hats. Yeah. No, but this is really cool. One thing about Toto, and you should probably see this. So they're like, yeah. So obviously you guys know that Weezer,
right.
They were saying how they were like going through a Toto revival because of Weezer, and
kind of making them help to make them relevant again.
Yeah, and they're like, so we challenge ourselves that we can do a rock song. So they covered a Weezer
Pipe,
song,
right?
actually. Yeah, they covered.
I think I saw that video. Yeah.
And I'm like, oh.
And you know what?
Oh, it's not bad.
I'm just gonna give credit to Steve, just because I'm a guitarist and I'm biased. Good for you not picking like fucking like Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
God.
Or like, well,
or
actually,
Buddy Holly. Good picking Hash Pipe because it's a rockin' one. It's probably the heaviest Weezer song they've ever put out.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, it's such a badass song too.
Yeah, and it's about smoking hash.
Yeah,
They
had to change it. They had to change it to Half Pipe for MTV purposes.
Oh my God, I think I remember that.
Pipe. Yeah,
and then you just see people fucking breaking their knees.
Yeah, no, but like, if you ever get a chance, I think Weezer puts on a really, really great show. Like a really, really great rock show.
Yeah.
I seen them a handful of times, and I remember I saw them with the Pixies a couple years back.
Oh, that's cool.
And they came out, and their set was like the music video or like their backdrop was like the music video for Buddy Holly.
That's pretty dope.
And I remember telling our buddy Ray, I told before they even fucking played, they were like coming out stage, and I turned to Ray, I'm like, dude, watch, Weezer's gonna fucking kill it tonight. And yeah, dude, their set was just fucking killer.
Dude, that's sick. Where'd you see them
pros at the Shoreline? And for them to have like a sick ass set at the Shoreline, like,
hey,
like in the lawn. Yeah,
dude, you were at Smashing Pumpkins.
That's true. Yeah, but I wasn't in the fucking lawn for Smashing Pumpkins.
Oh, true. I was in seats too.
Yeah, I was in seats. So I got
lie. Okay, I hear what you're saying. So it was dope from the. Okay, no. That makes more sense. I'm glad I said that because you're right. when you're that far away, it has to be really, really magical to really still get to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just remember they came out with like Buddy Holly, and it was just like, oh shit, and then like just back to back hits, and I'm like, all right, they're gonna kill it.
Yeah.
I also seen them do covers of like War Pigs.
Really? Now see, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Because I always like hearing people try and sound like Tony Iommi, and it usually never works.
I seen them do a live. I seen them do a cover of War Pigs. Like they started off their set with that song.
Yeah.
Just
Sirens.
Yeah. They did like the whole first verse, and then they went into Hash Pipe. Dun, 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 and then they went into dun, 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 you know.
Yeah.
And then I seen that day when I saw them with the Pixies, they finished their set with Paranoid.
Oh, cool.
Dun, 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 and they just fucking killed it.
That's sick. Never thought they were Sabbath fans, but everyone's probably a little bit of a Sabbath fan.
I feel like huge. I think they're huge Sabbath and like Kiss.
Dude, I love Kiss.
Yeah, so
I'm one of those Kiss people. Are you a Kiss person?
I listen to, again, I respect what they've done. I listen to the tracks, but I'm not like, oh my God. Again, if I get free tickets for Kiss,
I don't know if you're gonna like this song, but I'm gonna recommend it to you right now. New York Groove. It's an Ace Frehley song, but it was when they all decided to do their solo albums.
Oh,
It's the one with Ace's face on it, which I think is probably the best record.
I heard it's one of the best ones.
New York Groove, dude, killer song.
Okay.
But also, knowing a little side thing to make it awesome, Ace is kind of the wild, goofy guy.
Yeah,
so
he was.
He's like the party guy. So that's why I also like that song, because it's kind of his song. Anyway, New York Groove, check that one out. I was going to ask you, because we went to Barnes & Noble, and there's actually two things that come from this. We went to Barnes & Noble, and I noticed something when I was looking around. I was picking up books for Vincent, and I noticed a sign on there that said, educators receive a 20% discount. And me and Steph were kind of confused because we're like, what the hell kind of form of identification or verification process do you go through? And do you have this account with Barnes & Noble, Danny?
I do not have the Barnes & Noble account thing, but let me show you right here. But I have my teacher ID. See,
so you really... Oh, no, stupid. Of course you would have a teacher ID at a school.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
My other one's over there. But yeah, like, so Barnes & Noble does it. It's also like back to school, like Old Navy sometimes does it. And I know the Recycle Bookstore in downtown San Jose on the Alameda.
Cool.
They also do like a 10% off, and you just show them that, and they're like, yeah, like school ID or like a school email or something, or like
yeah. You're right, because when you're going to college, to get your college discount, you got to have a school email. So I imagine it's the same with staff. So
yeah,
really, I'm glad you cleared that up so easily, and now I feel a little foolish. But hey, what puzzles one person?
Well, here, and it's funny because I feel bad. I'm like, I know it's from last year, but I haven't gone, in person this year. And they're like, oh, it's cool. They're
like, I mean, it's not like you're like, like, what about the teacher that is retired?
No, I think they this year, and they're like, all right, because of 2020, obviously there's no fucking new school ID, but I'm pretty sure for next year they're not going to accept my 20.
I should just get one of your old ones and put my face on it.
Dude,
what a scumbag! Save 20%.
I got some extra somewhere, but
I just don't want to pay full price for Moby Dick.
No, but and we can finish up with this one, a little side story. I am going to go to Mexico City in a couple of weeks.
Nice. I'm glad that worked out.
I am going to go. And during the week, we were like, all right, what do you want to do, blah, blah, blah. And we're going to go to the Frida Kahlo Museum.
Nice.
We're going to go visit her house / museum. And so, like, this place gets booked. So we're really like, we bought our tickets already for the museum. Mm-hmm. And then there was like teacher, like education, like educator, like discount. And then there's the foreigner price.
Which one was better?
Well, fucking the teacher.
Yeah, so you went that route, right?
Yeah, and we're like, because we're all going with teachers, and they're like, well, how? Like, I'm like, well, let's just take our IDs, Oh,
I get it, because you're American teachers. Hey, it doesn't say domestic.
That's true. And if they say like, "Oh, well, y'all foreigners," I mean, worst. I mean, I was telling them like,
You
okay,
tell them this, be like, I'm an instructor for first and foremost.
yeah. First off, teaching is international. Okay. Um, no, but like I think for 3 tickets with the teacher discount came out to like $8 for like this
Damn, that's
fucking
not
month.
bad.
Not for freaking 3 tickets? Hell no. And I'm like, worst comes to worst, it'd be like, no, you have to pay the international like tourist price,
Yeah.
which would be like $10 each more. I'm
But
like,
still, yeah.
oh
No, you know
wow.
what it
Now,
is, though? They're going to look at you like a cheap ass Americans.
yeah.
They're going to be like, fuck you. We're going to get you $10 more.
Well, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm
You're going
gonna
to only
freaking
speak
talk to him.
Spanish?
It's nothing in Spanish. And then I'm gonna, just in case, I think I'm gonna go down to the consulate over here and just get my Mexican passport because I have dual
Well, do you
citizenship.
still have your National Hispanic University ID?
Oh no, that'd be dope. Oh, do I?
Just throw that
I'll
in
look it
there.
up.
A
I went
little ethnic.
I went over. I'm like, do I? I for sure. Maybe I'll take a look.
I'm going to sprinkle
But
this passport with a little ethnic spice.
I'm like, see, no,
It says Hispanic.
no, but I do have dual citizenship for Mexico. So I think I'll just go and get like my Mexican passport and be like, what the fuck you mean? I'm a Mexican. You know?
Just don't say it like that.
Yeah.
How
No,
would
I
you
mean,
say it in
obviously.
Spanish?
Oiga, pero soy mexicano, mira, aquí está mi pasaporte mexicano, aquí está mi mica mexicana.
Yeah, I'm charging you $8.
Like, listen, we'll meet you
Yeah.
halfway.
You're like, how about 15?
At that point, if I'm the cheapskate, you're the cheapskate. You look at this fucking line, it's all
Yeah,
sold out,
just
and
for
you're
like
like,
$3.
yeah, and you're like arguing for $3.
Dude,
Like,
that's
you're the
50
cheapskate.
pesos, dude. That's not right. I didn't do the math right on that.
It's like
not that
60.
bad.
It's like 60 pesos.
Oh, I wasn't that far off. All right.
No, it was good. It was a good
I
educated.
should have bet $1, Bob.
Yeah.
Well, and I was gonna say the other part of the Barnes and Noble thing was when we were in line, the girl was like totally like an emo kid, but she was cool. Like I don't mean that in a negative way, because she
Yeah.
mentioned like, because Steph was listening to Dashboard all weekend too, because
Yeah.
like, she likes Dashboard.
Reminiscing.
Yeah, and the girl behind the counter was like, "Oh, they're playing the Fillmore in October," and I was like, "Really? Oh, concerts." I mean, I kind of knew concerts were coming back, but I was like, "Really, the Fillmore?" And I've been wanting to go back to that place for a long time.
Yeah.
So I went and I bought us tickets. So October 28th, which I believe is a Thursday,
Oh, that's cool.
Dashboard is playing the Fillmore in San Francisco, and I'm going. So I think that's why I shared it with you too. I want to see how many people I can get to go, because I am not the biggest Dashboard guy. Not that I don't like them, but I think I would enjoy myself more if we could mob versus it just being like
deep.
a little date, because I'm like, I'm
It's
not going to lie to
funny.
you, babe. I'm doing this to support you.
It's funny because I mean, I seen Dashboard several times.
Yeah.
Like I seen him like at Slim's when they were like when he was, well, it was just him and
Well, this is an acoustic
guitar.
set, so I don't know what it's going to be like.
Well, it's very like it's very like it's like an oxymoron to be honest, because Dashboard started acoustic, just Chris the singer, and him playing guitar.
Right.
And he rather call it like Chris Cardabra or whatever his last name is. He went under Dashboard. And then
Right.
as it picked up steam, it kind of got, he had more guitars and then like a full-on band.
Wow, yeah, okay.
So like, yeah, but they originally started acoustic, but at the same time, I'm like, dude, I love their MTV Unplug album anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's gonna be more of that, then I'm all for it. And I saw them not so long ago, like maybe 2 or 3 years ago. And I mean, it still sounded amazing. So
Hell yeah. Well, I'm excited, and I told Steph's siblings, because I said, let's all go so I can get everyone stoned. And then I said I want to start the new hashtag Trashy for Dashy. So I want to see if that could take off. But
okay.
one step at a time.
I would think about it, because there's like so many new bands coming out. Oh, there's not so many new bands, but there's so many tours happening like in that September, October.
By the way,
freaking timeline.
Throw some at me, because I'm trying to go to some. So what do you know of that's coming up?
I know at the right now on my radar, I have late September Local H. Remember those guys?
Yeah, no, I do. They're kind of like alternative-y, right?
Yeah, mid-90s alternative. Their
Right.
most famous song is "Bound to the Floor" or something.
Okay. No,
Born
I
to
know what you're
be
talking about.
down. Yeah. So they're playing somewhere in San Francisco, like on a Thursday, also like September 28th, I think it is. Then like the dashboard is also like on the radar. And then my our buddy Miguel, he suggested this band to me a while back ago. They're called Twin Tribes.
Twin
They
Tribes.
they're like a gothy new wave kind of band
Oh,
from
okay.
Texas.
Interesting.
Um, yeah, and like I remember listening to like what I listened to like one track, and I think I listened just the bass line. Like it starts with like a bass line, and I remember like pausing it and just order the record. I'm like, nope, I'm gonna love this already. So
Yeah.
they're gonna be up in San Francisco also like early October. So that's like another but again, I think it's like on a Wednesday or Tuesday, and I'm like, fuck,
Yeah, it's
Wednesday
always kind of
night. So
rough.
yeah, they're rough. Especially like the next day, going back to work and teach. Because if it was this year where I'm just doing digital, like that's fine. But it looks like we're gonna go back to school next year. So
Yeah.
those three are definitely my radar. I feel I'm like I should have bought those stupid um aftershock um weekend passes because their tours just that tour looks fucking amazing. Like Metallica's gonna be there.
Yeah.
And then My Chemical Romance was supposed to do like the Saturday night, but they dropped off because they don't, they're not gonna go on tour until 2022. So they dropped off and they put fucking Misfits in there.
Yeah, that's a big upgrade.
Yeah, and I'm not talking about just like Misfits with Jerry Only. No, it's like Jerry Only, um,
Doyle.
uh, Doyle, and then Danzig.
Danzig's gonna be there?
So yeah, so the original Misfits are gonna be
That's pretty
performing.
sick. Doyle von
So
Frankenstein.
yeah, and I love My Chemical Romance. I'm a huge My Chemical Romance fan, but Misfits is freaking badass.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely a huge upgrade.
And I'm a weirdo because I actually love the Thursday night lineup, which is headlined by Limp Bizkit, and that's not why I
Biscuit,
love it, but that would be interesting. Why I love it is
hmm
because it's such thrash gold.
yeah, like Testament,
Exodus.
Anthrax, Exodus, yeah,
Dude, are you
um,
serious? And
yeah. It looks
I
like
think fucking some newer bands that are kind of thrashy.
yeah,
I forgot the name of them. But anyways,
um,
I'm like, dude, I wish I could just buy tickets to that, but I think you have to. The only way you can get into that is probably if you have the weekend pass.
yeah, because it's like the pre-game party, and
Yeah,
yeah, dude, that's just gonna be a badass
I know. I'm like,
freaking
damn it. And
weekend.
Aftershok's usually in Sacramento, and I'm not that far from there anymore.
Yeah, it is
Just so
in Sacramento,
expensive.
and I forgot what the fields are called or
I
something.
think it's like Marysville, maybe.
No, it's like no, it's in Sacramento,
Oh, it is
Sacramento.
Sacramento?
Yeah, it's in Discovery Park. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
And I've been there a couple of years ago. Like I went there a few years back to see like I saw Deftones there and like System of a Down and shit.
Mhm.
So wasn't bad. Oh, but yeah, dude, I'm looking at dude
Oh,
that Thursday
Knocked
lineup.
Loose? Yeah, Knocked
I
Loose as well.
fucking love Knock Loose. Fit for a King. I don't know who mocks oxymorons
No,
are, but like Fit for a King is badass. Knock Loose is fucking I'll
Oxymoron's
knock.
the only band I'm not really familiar with.
Yeah. But Knock Loose, I'm ready to get my ass knocked
That's a
out to that
good
band.
pit night, dude. Like it's just
Exodus,
circle
Testament,
pits, dude.
yo, Anthrax and Limp Bizkit. And like my buddies have seen Limp Bizkit before and they're like, dude, they put on one hell of a fucking show.
Yeah, dude. I've seen them at the Summer Sanitarium, and they're stupid, but they're cool, stupid.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude.
Um,
Like, I'll admit, not really fitting headliner, but still probably one of the most solid lineups out of all. Because that's the thing about Aftershock. Just like Coachella, the bold printed bands are always really cool, and then the italicized thin print bands, you're like,
mhm.
why the
Who?
fuck am I paying $200 for this?
Yeah.
Like, there's 20
Um,
bands I don't give a shit about, and I'm paying $300 for 4 bands.
like, dude, that Thursday lineup is just such a great,
It's so
like,
dense. Yeah.
such a good freaking lineup. And then like I'm seeing like Friday isn't bad. It's like
And Metallica's
Metallica,
headlining,
Rancid,
right?
Dropkick Murphys,
That's a punky
Suicide
kind of
Tendencies. Yeah,
punky
definitely.
vibe.
I'm not really a big fan of Bolt Pete. I don't know why people love that band.
I got more onto them later because the singing's kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that made me laugh about the singing is it's very similar to another band in the 90s. Damn it.
But no, dude, I'm looking at the Saturday lineup. The original Misfits, The Offspring, Machine Gun Kelly,
Yeah.
but Gojira,
Oh, Gojira.
Gojira, Mudvayne, dang,
Yeah.
Body Count. You mean motherfucking Ice Cube is gonna be? Oh no,
Ice-T.
Ice-T is gonna be there. Fuck yeah.
You mean SVU? That's right.
Yeah, I mean, Asking Alexandria, they're one of those bands. They're not my cup of tea. Atreyu, huh?
Hey, right side of the bed.
Hey, we windmill and we're fighting Invisible Ninjas to Atreyu before.
My mascara is bleeding.
Yeah. Live, Love, Burn, Die.
Don't know who they are.
No, same song from Atreyu.
See, I'm such a fuck. I thought that was a band.
No.
Sounds like a band.
No, but like Anti-Flag. I love Anti-Flag. August Burns Red is a great metalcore band. And then the rest I'm like, okay.
That's what I mean though. You only name like 6 things and there's like 20 things and you're like, that's why I don't like it's too big of a festival. Just do a 2-day or a 1-day, make it better, make it tighter. Because remember how Ozfest and Mayhems were?
Yeah.
It was just like good day of just awesome shit.
You should show up a little bit later. Like Sunday is gonna be Metallica, Social Distortion, which I'm not really a big fan of, actually.
I liked them more when I was younger, but I do like them. But I'm like, they're kind of those bands where I could listen to like 3 songs and I'd be like, I'm good.
Yeah, because they all sound the same.
Like Ball and Chain.
Yeah.
Got some good ones.
The only song I do like from Social Distortion, I think it's called like Drag Me Down or something. And that's because it came out in the Dave Mirra video game soundtrack.
Well, that was his favorite band.
Really?
Yeah, and Steph told me that because she met him like twice.
Oh, rest in peace.
She was also like a super fan. Yeah, R.I.P.
Rest in peace, bro. Fuck, dude. That one hit home, dude, when he, like, him and, like, Jester and...
he's riding that Haro in the sky now, dude.
Yeah, dude.
I don't even know if he was a Haro guy. I shouldn't just go assuming that. I think he was.
Yeah, I think he was too, but fuck, dude. I was like, fuck, he killed himself. Wow. Anyways.
Yeah, I mean, that is weird. I thought it was weird too.
But Rise Against, Mastodon.
Rise Against is another band for me that is in the category that you kind of put Social in.
Yeah.
I could literally I could avoid listening to them.
Yeah.
They're very played out for me.
Pennywise. So there's
you got Bro Him. That's what I'm not gonna lie. That's like the only song I really know by Pennywise.
I mean, it's their staple, but such a great band.
I like them too.
I'm not sure who In This Moment is, but their name is.
Oh, they're a metal act led by a woman, and I don't want to say it condescending, but I don't like the band, so I guess I did say it condescending.
Black Veil Brides, same thing. Like,
don't like them either.
Yep. Still Panther.
I got buddies that like them because they're metal and they're like parody, but I never got into Steel Panther.
Yeah, and then Yellow Wolf is gonna be there, and then I don't know who the rest of the band is.
He's just doing. So,
dude. Yeah, so honestly, I won't show up until like 7 to see what Pennywise.
That's what I mean, dude. You're paying all this money, and you're like, you don't want to be there all day. We're not 20 years old anymore.
But it's all that money is mostly for like Metallica and like Misfits.
I don't buy that. I mean, I know what you mean. They're probably making the most money, but it's the fucking bill collect. They fucking pocket it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna shortchange the fucking headliners. I feel like it's totally the production company that chooses all the bands, and they're just like you said, they probably spend all their money on getting the acts in, which isn't the act's fault. They have their price points, But like, yeah. But then do a better job of managing the fucking the lineup. Like you blow all your money, on like 3 things, and then you're like, all right, well, we only got $60 left, so we'll make the most of it. That's totally how it feels.
And that's where you get freaking California Crush to go out there and play.
And that's just the way it should be. And by the way, they should have an independent stage like Vans Warped Tour does every year, right? Where they have a battle of the bands where you can open up in Warped Tour. I think Page didn't the guys from Page try and do that, or didn't we know people that tried to do it? Somebody.
I knew a couple of people who did like try to open up and stuff. Like a lot of local, like off the top of my head,
and like Far From You try and do it or something.
Far From You, but I know what's
Redfall?
No, Redfall definitely tried, but I thought they were gonna make it. San Jose band. Fuck, I'm going blank on their name.
Moria,
right
no,
now.
Moria is not San Jose.
No,
they're like Salinas.
Salinas.
San Jose.
I know Maida.
Famous.
Another one. No, it's they're like a huge band, dude, and like. Oh, Plans for Revenge. There you go.
Oh, I remember them.
Yeah, I know they play Warped Tour like 2 or 3 times.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and those guys were really, really dope.
There's always a lot of good music out there. It's finding a consistent lineup that doesn't cost an arm and a leg, and that's the thing. Vans Warped Tour wasn't expensive, so you got a lot of music, and even if it wasn't everything you liked, you only spent like $35. It wasn't like Aftershock where it's $200, and if you want a single day pass, it's $150. I don't know. It's just like, get the fuck out of here, dude. Like it should come with a hot dog, like what the like at least like pay for
something,
for like a voucher for food, parking included. And by the way, I doubt parking's included, or it might be free. It might be like Shoreline, but
no, I think for this one, when I went, I bought like a parking pass.
Yeah, that's probably like $30.
Yeah.
At the least. That's what I mean. It's too much, dude. And you know what sucks? Concert prices aren't going to go down, dude, because they know people are desperate to get the fuck out of their house, and they'll pay whatever they want. They'll pay whatever they put it out there for. That's where I was thankful the Dashboard, luckily for venues like the Fillmore that aren't like super huge, but Dashboard was like $35.
And the Fillmore is such a freaking nice ass venue.
Yeah, it's iconic.
Parking kind of sucks around there, though.
Yeah, the hate.
Yeah.
Hate the hate. But it's last time I was there was like 10 years ago to see Testament, and it was just one of the coolest shows I've ever seen. Like just the ambience, like the history, and it's just like being in a like a fucking, I mean, you're in a historical building.
Yeah.
Hendrix played there, The Dead.
I'm trying to think which was the last time I went there. I know I went for a show, but I can't remember who. It doesn't matter. But great show. Great spot.
Great show. Hopefully we can make it out. Let's party. I do want to coordinate at least like an Earthquakes game or something. That'd be fun to go like with you guys too.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this week we wrapped it up. We talked about the villains in our generations of our own lifespans, and I think we addressed a lot of our flaws, which was kind of cool. It helps us keep ourselves in check, and it helps you understand the people we are, which may or may not be a good thing. But for us, we feel better. We both drank coffee, so it's time to definitely get this piss out of us. Thanks for checking in with us. As usual, we appreciate your support. We'll be back next week with another episode of Tales from the Head. And until later, take care and take care of each other, guys. Peace.